Good morning. We're just taking a leisurely stroll to hopefully a quieter, cleaner Anchorage. We need to make water because we are heading out to Guatemala very soon, within the next couple days. We couldn't make it in that Anchorage because we were anchored right next to a water facility or a water treatment plant. And it just, you could see the silt and the dirtiness. We didn't want to foul up our filters, so hopefully this other bay will be a little cleaner. Also, it's pretty noisy there. We were anchored in front of a restaurant as well, and they like to party pretty late. It wasn't that big of a deal.
4 a.m.
We slept through it, but you know, it's just Brandy would just wake up occasionally to some dance music.
I was dancing on the bed at one point.
Were you?
Bo can sleep through an entire train coming through the boat.
When we were in the boatyard, we were right next to some train tracks, and they didn't faze me a bit. The boat's shaking, you know, I'm out. But we were able to provision. Brandy dropped me off at what we thought was like a public beach area, but as I started walking to go to the grocery store, I realized the whole place was just empty and it was gated off. There was a guard station, just some young fellows, you know, just making sure no riffraff, keeping the riffraff out.
They didn't know that the riffraff was already in.
Including me. But you know, they were cool. They good Jamaican vibe. You know, they let me pass. I bought them a 6-pack just to show my thanks. And what were they drinking? Red Stripe.
Tell them what you asked if they wanted.
Yeah, I was like, you guys want anything to drink? And they're like, beer. I'm like, what kind of beer? Red beer. No, they didn't say that, but they're like Red Stripe. I thought they would like Guinness or something.
But it was like, would you like a nice frothy dark Guinness on this 100,000 degree day?
The grocery store we went to was massive. It was great.
Oh my god.
We spent probably way too much money on food, but we're all stocked up to get to Guatemala.
So we spent all night last night taking turns. One person would edit, the other person would cook. The other person would edit, the other person would cook. So we are pretty stocked up. The one thing you do not want to do on a 6 to 8 day passage, which we're kind of thinking it's going to be, is want to cook or at least prepare stuff. So now everything's chopped and ready to cook and we've got snacks. So it just makes life so much easier. And this is the thing, it takes time to do it. So unfortunately, even though we've been here a week, we haven't been able to do much of anything because we've either been sailing, editing, or getting ready for the passage over. And that was the whole purpose of stopping in Jamaica. Unfortunately, we're hoping to come back because it is absolutely stunning here. But we just don't have the time in order to be able to get to Guatemala safely, now especially that we've been seeing storms popping up. So we've got to get moving. I know you guys have been hearing us say that since we've been in Puerto Rico, actually since we left St. Thomas, but it's the truth. We've got to get moving. We've got to get out of here. We just don't like having the storms like back in the back of our minds, like, we can come for you.
Wind. So we have reef pretty much this whole stretch here, but there is a little entrance all the way to the west. But the water looks way clearer. If you read the charts, it actually tells you to get local knowledge, but our charts look pretty accurate, so we're gonna slowly go through it.
We have a buoy up here.
It is super shallow here. I should have checked the tides before we came in, but you can clearly see that the tide is low because there's growth exposed on the markers.
Yeah.
What's the depth that we were seeing?
I was seeing 4. We dropped 3.9. So we got really lucky. We had a local powerboat come through, and he kind of was like, follow me. So we got what we wished for.
Yeah, he saw us kind of veering off. He's like, oh boy, these guys are gonna get in trouble. But we're just gonna make water and leave today.
The plan of coming in here and
we'll wait
leaving at midnight?
Yeah, we'll wait till high tide today once our tank is full and leave.
We are in the same place that we left you, but it's been a couple days. Actually, it's been a day. We got in here and realized that tide was actually going out, so we did come in just as the tide was lowering. So we are heading back out on the same track that we got. We have an appointment with Customs and Immigration to check out of here at 2. So we're gonna try to head out of here, and then tonight we're gonna leave out of this area. Because remember, we told you we were gonna just follow our track out at midnight, but we don't want to risk that because it's gonna be low tide then. So we are gonna make it out now.
It's actually high tide then. It's sketchy. I just don't want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stuck maybe.
Maybe. Even though high tide is at midnight tonight, there are no lights on these markers, and these markers were definitely put in by locals. So it's too much of a risk to take. So that's why we're gonna leave today and stay outside to then leave tonight for Guatemala.
Oh man, I'm glad that we got out of that cut, because that storm's definitely gonna hit us.
We had to turn off the motor because it started making this grinding noise. Thankfully, it held out long enough for us to get out of that cut.
Thankfully.
And a squall came through. So I hopped into the dinghy just in case we got too close to the reef. It's about to rain, you need to close that. We tried to turn it on when the wind just died to get to a further anchorage over here that's a little more protected, but it's doing that grinding. So we killed the motor and we decided to just drop right here. It's shallow, but there is a lot of reef, and it might be not the best holding, but we're only gonna be here for a few more hours. Actually, after doing some research, it could even be the Cutlass bearing. We were running the motor pretty much well, not all the way, half the way from Puerto Antonio to Montego Bay. So maybe it's the Cutlass bearing. It just sounds really bad. I'm gonna try to loosen the stuffing box just slightly, and I'm gonna drain the tranny fluid and replace it. Hopefully that helps. We'll see. Either way, we're leaving because it's not crucial that we have a motor. We've sailed many miles without the motor, so it's not that big of a deal. And we do have the dinghy and the dinghy motor, so if we really had to in a pinch, we could drop the dinghy and the motor and side tie. So I undid the stuffing box a little bit, and you can see that there's metal shavings actually coming out. So I'm thinking that there's more of this in there, and that's what's kind of catching on the shaft and just making this god-awful noise.
So what is that? What are those from, you think?
I'm hoping, I don't know. I hope it's not from the shaft itself. It could be from the stuffing box itself, which is just like a threaded tube. But it's pretty disintegrated as well, so it's hard to tell without taking it all apart. But let me see if I can't clean it up, and maybe that'll be the fix.
Okay. This is never a good sign.
I know these trannies don't take a lot of oil, but there's not a lot in there. When I pulled the dipstick out, it wasn't even showing anywhere near the line, the fill line. So that is definitely my bad. I don't remember the last time I checked the oil on this thing. So that is chop one up for failed maintenance. Hopefully I didn't do too much damage, so I'm just gonna top it off, and I hope this is the fix and I didn't grind up too many gears in there. Well, it turns out that those trannies don't take a lot of oil, so what I had in there probably was enough. I literally think I put only a few ounces in there, and the dipstick was showing full, and it's still grinding. So I want to say it is the Cutlass bearing, which we'd have to replace. I wonder if we can replace that in water. Either way, we're just gonna have to go and hope for the best. We'll have to side tie, or maybe even get one of the guys in the Rio to tow us up. But we still got to prep the boat. We got laundry and dishes, and we were hoping to get some rest before we took off. That's not gonna happen. We still got a video to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Oh well, I tried.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Shake that hair.
Well, good morning. We are still here in Montego Bay, as you can see. So this is not the best case scenario. We are looking at 659.7 nautical miles without a motor, which it is what it is. We're gonna lose wind. We're gonna end up bobbing around. We can't do anything about it. There's not something that we can immediately fix, and we've got to get to Guatemala. We're just hoping that we're gonna get some wind and the wind stays filled in. Right now, coming out of here, we're probably not gonna have a bunch, but we're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna do wing on wing and hope we fill in enough. Last night we decided that we were gonna do a side tie and get out of here anyways, but we came to our senses and thought, with all the fishing pots that are out here on the coast, sailing Nemesis, it's probably not a good idea to do it late at night. And we are so glad we didn't leave, because it really bucketed last night, stormed like crazy for hours. So to have been stuck out of there with the dinghy down it just would have not have been a good situation. So we've raised the dinghy and we are going to start trucking our 659.7 nautical miles out of here. 659.8, yes. Not 666. Bye-bye, Jamaica. Very slowly. Yet another reason I'm glad we didn't leave last night. All this debris.
Nice rain. It's getting in through the...
Bird is that?
I don't know.
Which way to Guatemala? There goes the sail in the water. Probably the downhaul. The downhaul, hun. It's stuck right there, right?
Stuff up at the tack.
Wow, it is a landmine out here. Stop it!
Can you help it? Out. More. More.
Coming. This is all runoff from the rain. Oh, holy smokes. Big bamboo. La 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 la.
Do 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 do.
Do 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 do. So we're doing something a little crazy and we're hoping it works, is putting up the spinnaker. This is only the second time we've actually raised it, so hopefully we can figure it out this time.
Can you head where the wind's a little more in here? I think I've got it twisted. I've got it twisted. Needs to be more downwind, hon. Yeah, bring in the sheet more.
Which one?
The port side. We were gonna raise the spinnaker with a head sail, but we don't have the proper running rigging for that. So we had to drop the head sail just to raise the spinnaker. But I think it's doing a great job. It's pretty too. This wind is non-existent and it's just kind of clocking the whole 180 back quadrant. It's hard to keep this spinnaker filled. But I think it's doing a lot better of a job than if we just had a regular head sail out, because our main's even just flapping around and we can keep the spinnaker somewhat filled. So we're going 3 knots. I think if we just had a head sail, we'd probably be doing 1 to 2 knots. A little bit extra speed. Can you pull that cheese in all the way? You going to land?
Yeah. You want more?
Yeah, keep going.
Am I good? Do you need me to go back out?
No.
Is it stuck? Oh.
Now it seems like it's keeping it
So look.
collapsed.
Look. Right? That's how we have it set up. Do we have it too far up like that? I don't know. Does it need to be out further?
This looks good. It's not flopping. What are we doing?
4 or 5.
As long as you can keep it on our broad like this, I think it'll be okay. Takes the waves better.
It's not rubbing on the thing either, right?
I mean, when a wave pitches the nose up, it does. It took us a few tries, but we finally got it right, we think. It seems like it's best when we have it on our broad and we have both the main and the spinnaker on the opposite side, but in line with each other.
So like 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
Yeah-ish. But we hit a max speed of 7.5 knots so far, and we're bumping up our average.
I mean, it's got to be. Let me get the. We'll pull out the wind thing.
The
Can
wind.
you see it's right there?
Oh yeah. Well, this is gonna give us our apparent,
Oh, yeah.
but right now we're probably averaging about 5 knots, so way better than earlier. We do think the wind might have picked up a smidgen, but it's still super light. I think if we just had the head sail out right now, it would still be pretty light. We wouldn't be going as fast. But yeah, our apparent's only showing like 1 to 2 knots. So we are booking it.
That's good. Good news.
One thing though is once we round the corner of Jamaica, we're gonna have to switch our setup because we're gonna point further south. Right now we actually kind of have to point a little north just to keep the spinnaker full.
Which we don't really know until we get there.
Yeah,
You're just guessing.
we're just guessing. It's all a guessing game. I mean, I think we spent, how many hours did we spend messing with the spinnaker?
2, at least.
At least, yeah. So it's just get out here, try this, try that, try not to get frustrated, which
We did.
we did. But I'm happy that we put it out and weren't lazy.
Now this is what we love to do, sail. If you're new here, we've been sailing for 4 years on our all-electric self-converted sailboat, Saoirse. When we started this, and still to this day, we get a lot of comments about how crazy we are to be out here with just an electric motor to help propel our boat. But it's worked for us. And yes, you're right, we don't get to go on far-flung distances only on our motor, so we have to do a lot of sailing. And well, now we get to experience what it was like in the days without the modern invention. So now starts our sail from Jamaica to Guatemala, 8 days, 659.8 nautical miles without a motor, just pure raw sailing. It's days at sea that are our absolute favorite. The reason we are out here. When the last bit of land disappears and it's just us and the sea.